Hey, everybody. We're going to do the ABA 125 show. This is the way it is. What is up, guys? I know it's a little late of a start. Yes, I was getting my makeup on. I had to get my eyeliner. I had to run. I had to get in on. Zoom in on me, Paul. I had some mascara running, so I had to go fix it real quick. But as always, we appreciate you guys tuning in. We hope you guys are going to enjoy this episode. We're going to be doing a lot of talking of the subject called fishing tonight. We're going to talk about the ABA 125 because the ABA 125 starts. Drum roll. Say it, Jonathan.
September 17th.
September 17th. Where at?
Altoona.
Okay, so for any of you guys who are interested in joining the ABA 125, whether or not you're a boater or a co-angler, highly suggest you do it. It's really fun. It's a great group of guys. We have a lot of fun. Can't really stress that enough about the level of fun that we have.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. I mean, you got a group of guys that are give you shirts off their back.
Exactly.
And we just bull crap around the boat, the table at the beginning of the morning. We talk trash, and at the end of the day, we walk away with our tail stuck between our legs.
Exactly. So it's
that
great.
Is true. That is 100% true.
That's great. So we've got tonight, right, our star-studded panel, as Danny always says. Danny's in Montuna fishing with moose. In case for those of you guys who don't know, he's in Montuna. He's in Montuna. Did I say Montuna?
You did say
Montuna.
Montuna.
I meant Montana.
He got tuna on the brain now.
I got Alatoona on the brain. I don't know. So can't wait for my grow up the stomping grounds on tuna. Yeah, Montuna. That's going to be the new late. And I'm going to commission to get Alatoona changed to Montuna. Lake Montuna, the land of giants. Which has been pumping out some, so I'm not going to say
here lately. It's been pumping out some big ones.
Yeah,
look like fish coming out of it.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. So, but my star-studded panel, like I was saying, as Danny always says, to my left is Mr. Michael Keeney.
Hello.
Some of you guys, Altoona guys who know him, he runs Porco's. What else?
That's it.
Just Porco's. Just Porco's. And then to my right, as always, the beautiful, charming, intellectually challenged Jonathan Farmer. He is here tonight. I'm just messing with Farmer. As you guys who've been watching the show for a while, you guys know Jonathan Farmer, and he is actually this year he is one of the co-directors for the ABA 125. So he is working with Alex Pierce, Dane Hunter, and Scott Loftman.
Mm-hmm.
And they are all the co-directors of the 125s. Now, for those of you guys who may be living in a hole under a rock, the ABA 125 and the ABA 35, the ABA 125 absorbed the ABA 35.
Correct.
And now it is one division, which is the 125. Or the 160, as me and Paul Coonan like to joke about, because math. And so anyway, your guys are going to be fishing. It's 15 total events this season.
15 total events. Will be on Lanier 3 times, Altoona 3 times, Carter's 3 times, Notley 3 times, and Chateaugue twice.
Absolutely. So that's good.
And
so
then the we have decided that the championship this year will be on Pickwick.
I thought it was going to be on Nickajack.
Oh. Nickajack, I'm sorry.
I thought it was going to be on Nickajack.
We talked about
Pickwick.
We talked one of them that's got a funny.
No, Nickajack. Yeah, he's right. Nickajack.
Oh, well, okay. So Farmer as the co-director don't even know where the hell they're going to be at.
No, I never do.
We'll figure that out when we get that way. Dylan Johnson says, thanks for the rods, Farmer.
Oh, you're welcome, buddy.
You gonna catch a fish?
You caught anything on him yet?
I think he has a starter. I think he has a starter problem. I'm
more worried about that.
Josh just sent me a long message, and it's quite the request. I don't know. We'll have to see that. So anyway, so that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. And then after we get done talking about that and answering some of you guys' questions, we're going to talk some straight up fishing from the hip. But without further ado, as always, we do want to say that this episode of Livewell, episode 40, believe it or not, I cannot believe it's been 40 episodes since we named it the Livewell. That's pretty crazy.
Heck yeah, that's my high school number.
Shut up. No one cares. Except your daddy. As always, this episode, though, as always, episode 40, which is a milestone, in my opinion, is brought to you by Rachel Collins with 400 Homes. Rachel is fantastic. She's a fisherwoman. She outfishes her husband all the time, Mr. James Collins. She is a fantastic lady. She is very good at being very personable with you. Got to meet her and talk to her many, many times. I can't say enough good things about her. If you want to get in contact with her to buy or sell your home, all you got to do is hit her up at 770-310-0599. I'm not Danny. I do not have that down pat yet, as you can see. Hit me up, Paul. Hit me up, Paul. There she is. There she is, right there. Mrs. Rachel Collins, the lovely real estate agent of Fish North Georgia. And we appreciate everything that she does. And go see her if you want to get rid of your home or if you need to buy one. Maybe you need to move. I don't know. That's between you and your significant other. And Rachel. Exactly. And of course, Buford Dam Bait and Tackle. Guys, they are legit. They are one of the best tackle shops on Lake Lanier. They're the best tackle shop on Buford Dam Road. Are they the only tackle shop, Paul, on Buford Dam Road?
I would say yes.
Yes, I believe they are too. So go see Buford Dam. Go see Dave and Alan and the guys. They'll take care of you. They'll take real good care of you for sure. They got live bait. They've got all other kinds of stuff, bass fishing wise, cat fishing wise. They do carry, of course, trout TNT. Guys, it's starting to cool off. You want to go catch a mess of trout. Now's going to be getting the time to do it. And all you got to do is go head down to Buford Dam Bait and Tackle and pick you up some trout TNT products and go slay them because the trout TNT products work. So we just want to thank Dave and the gang at Buford Dam and Bait and Tackle for being one of our sponsors. You need to get in contact with them at 706-429-7211. The banner is behind Farmer. The beautiful one. Their hours are Sunday through Thursday, 5:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then Friday and Saturday, 5:30 a.m. to 8. So you guys go check them out if you're in the Buford area. They're a hell of a tackle shop and they're a hell of a gentleman. Does that make sense? That's kind of weird, but I don't know. But Dave and the gang are great. So they do a really fine job and they will help you as much as they can to get you geared up and get you ready to go. So Justin Speed said something, and then everyone else is always. I'm very behind on the comments, so I will figure out what we're going to do, where we're at here in just a second. Paul, anything come
pressing
out? anything? We got We Hunt, Dodger Lover.
Scratch fishing trying to be funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's your body count. Yeah, right.
There is an interesting question.
Why does everybody's wife outfish them? That is a good question. Probably because
Lisa Farmer lays it down on Jim every now and then.
She does every now and again. She always in. All right, Rachel, she's watching now. Hey, Rachel, how are you? I always get the first fish, she says. So absolutely, we got to give you props, Rachel, 100%. Now, so what distracted me and what has thrown my mindset off is Josh said, "You guys want to try and pipe me and Danny into the live? We're on the river now." How do you think that would work? How are we going to do that? How would we do that? Paul is figuring it out right now.
Paul is the man.
All right. So anyway, as Paul gets all this fancy stuff situated, again, as we want to say, the main thing that that we want to talk about here for the first little bit of the show is, of course, the ABA 125. We did this show last year about this time, and the response was really good. We had a lot of guys show up, had more guys show up than probably previous year. And I don't think I heard anything bad whatsoever from anybody. I think everybody enjoyed fishing it that fished it, and everyone had a good time. So if you're really interested and you want to learn and you want to compete, then you come join the ABA 125. I'll be fishing it some this year. We'll get into some more details about what all we need to do. That's probably Dane telling you check your phone.
Yep.
We're going to have to hold Farmer's hand, Dane. Because he is trying to do the best he can. Because Alex Pierce, he's in Missouri, I couldn't make it. He said so.
I'm still a director in training.
Did he give you all the information that you need right there?
He gave me all the sponsors of the ABA 125.
Okay, so do you want to thank all the sponsors right now?
Yeah, I give you
because it is very, very important that we support these companies and these businesses that support our fishing habit.
Correct.
So go ahead, Farmer, rattle them off here.
First and foremost, Fish North Georgia and True Grit Tackles sponsor ABA 125. Fish North Georgia and True Grit give baits and stuff like that for the raffle bags. So we thank them for that. Also, the Dugout Bait and Tackle does the same. We thank Jamie and them for giving us products to give away so we can draw more people in and have a little bit better time. Robert Lure, Chrysler, Dodge, and Jeep. And they, if you own or buy a vehicle from them, you win the tournament. They pay you $500 extra after you win the tournament. Also like to thank Bass Reaper. Bass Reaper sent a whole huge box of soft plastics for the giveaways. We've got a lot of their really good plastics for this area. They've just come out with a couple new like Ned baits. They've got a 10-inch trick worm that they've sent and stuff like that. So that's a good one. And then Tap Trucking, that is Alex's and his partner's trucking business. And then Cartersville Cabinet Company. We'd like to thank them as well for the sponsorship.
That is not a dumb question, Scratch. It is actually the American Bass Anglers. That is what the ABA stands for.
That is what ABA stands for.
You've got the open divisions.
You've got the fishing division. That's where your divisions are at. That's the local division.
That's
your 125, what used to be the 35, the division that fishes down at Weiss and Gunnersville and stuff like that. And then you have the open series. The open series is kind of like your upper tier of your local series where you get 80, 90 boats. I know Lanier had about 80, 90 boats on it. It's $200 entry fee. And then you have your top solo 150. That's like the pro level of the ABA. That's $600 entry fee. Fish, I think it's 5-6 times a year. And then you get to go fish the race scot if you qualify.
And
the couple series.
Couples, which
and
is
you
really
have
fun.
You have a couple series that you can fish with your significant other.
And the military. You got to be a current active or
a vet.
Or a vet.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what the word was. I was saying just vet. But
A veteran.
Veterans. So the ABA is really fun. It's really good. It's got a good club feel. It's got a real good club feel to it.
And it's not one of like your big trails that you're paying an arm and a leg for to go fish. Like nothing against like the BFL or the MLF or anything like that. But it's $75 a tournament.
Whisper.
Without a it's $75 a tournament if you pay pre-register 10 days before. If you don't pay the 10 days before and pre-register, there's a $5 late fee, and then it's $80 a tournament. There is a
fucking God.
$35 membership fee every year, but if you pay multiple years, it's less than $35 a year. It's not very expensive to fish, and we fish local lakes, so it's not like you're having to buy a motel and room and board and stuff like that. So it's local lakes around here, and we tried to make the schedule around when those lakes seem to fish the best too, to give everybody a good ample chance at some decent fish, decent bags.
If Josh and Danny are actually watching this, I do not know if this is going to work right now because
I sent it to him on Messenger.
Okay, he sent it to you on Messenger, but it's asking for like passwords and stuff or something weird.
That's to send it to him through email.
Oh, okay, that's to send it to him for email, and it's wanting encryption codes and Japanese stuff. So I'm just playing.
Scratch fishing. These are individual tournaments. If you have somebody that comes with you, they'll have to fish as a co-angler.
Explain the boater co thing now, because that is the one thing compared to like the BFL stuff.
Okay,
that is the one thing that is different about the ABA.
All right, with the BFLs, everybody that has fished a BFL and has been around it knows if they don't have enough co-anglers, that the boaters have to pair up. Well, that's different with the ABA. We don't have enough co-anglers to even try and do that. We averaged 3 or 4 last year, and we averaged on 35, 40 boat tournaments. So you're fishing by yourself. If you get a co-angler, but because we don't have enough co-anglers, they have to fish against the anglers as well. But that being said, depending on who you draw, like I had somebody in my boat last year, and I came in second, he came in third, because I ended up giving him the bait that I was catching them on, and he caught just as many as I did.
Okay, so we got Josh. I don't know if we can hear him or not, but we're going to try. We'll let them talk. We'll see what we can't talk to them about for a few minutes before we get back to fishing and talking about fishing. Let them tell us about what they got going on. So go for it.
Here we go.
Hey, can you hear me, Ryan?
There, all right, hear you now. We can hear you now. What's up?
What's going on, guys? Hey,
What are you smoking?
Doing the job. Can you see my shirt? The wind is blowing about 40 miles an hour, and it's cold.
All we want to know is if you're catching anything.
I have caught a brook trout. A brown trout and a rainbow trout. And then J-Mac that we've been with, he's busted several nice ones today. I think the place we're going to tomorrow is called Palisades, and it is like supposed to be like creme de la creme stuff like that. So hopefully, we give you some big pictures tomorrow. But right now, I'm freezing my keister off.
So what's the air temperature right now? What's the air temperature right now?
Let's see. It high today was 70. Probably right now we get 60. 60. The wind's blowing about.
It looks like it's blowing 40.
It probably is. So it's cold. My feet are wet. But tonight it's going to be in the 30s. Tomorrow the high will be 61 or something like that. So we got a big front coming through. But see if you can show them the mountains right there in the background. I don't know if you guys can see that.
Where's the moose at?
Listen, she's over there bedded down with her calf. That is about the biggest creature I've ever seen.
That's pretty cool. Hey, Jeremiah said you're officially cool in his book because you caught a fish on a fly.
Hey, listen, I'm converted to this stuff.
It sounds like y'all running down the lake. Yeah. How fast is that boat going?
Things are screaming.
The water.
Look at him.
But no, seriously, guys, listen, we appreciate you guys. We look forward to when we get back to tell you guys all about this trip. I know you got an important subject tonight with the ABS. So make sure everybody knows about this. Even if Jonathan
Tell Josh to protect the mic.
Tell Josh to protect the mic.
Better?
No.
That's all we can do. So. You guys have fun. Y'all just have fun. We'll see you when we get back.
Get him out of here.
If any of y'all could understand any of that, we're as lost as y'all are. But Danny and Josh have, for those of you guys who do not know, Danny and Josh have been in Montana. They have been in Montana since Monday. They left early. Their flight left out early Monday morning, and I think they flew straight in. And so it wasn't too bad of a flight. And as soon as they hit the ground, they pretty much got the ground running. Danny said within just Rachel said, "Okay, bye." Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. So, but yeah, it's been. I know Danny they've had a ball, and we can't wait for you guys to see what all they've been filming and what all they've been having going on up there. So, real exciting stuff. There's more to it because when they get done with this one, Danny will be back Monday. And Monday afternoon, sometimes when their flight will be back. And then here at the 1st of November, they'll be heading down to Port St. Joe, the Cape San Blas, Mexico Beach area for about 4 or 5 days, I believe, too. So they've got some good stuff going on. And down there, if any of you guys have ever been to Port St. Joe, Cape San Blas, Mexico Beach area in October and November, and that is the time to go fishing because it is dynamite. It is dynamite down there. So this should be fun. How fast is that boat was running? I was lost in Montana in 77. Yeah. So I don't know how fast the boat was running. It probably was running a good 40.
It sounded like she was running wide open.
It could have been. I don't know. So, but so that Dylan said they'll be there a week after me. So that's cool.
Jet boat's not as fast as an outdrive. You need a jet in that river.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
That'd be about 35.
About 35.
I know one thing. You won't catch me in Montana on the Madison River where they are without I don't know what would be the lowest caliber you would take.
Buckshot.
I don't know. I don't know. Buckshot would probably.
Grizzlies.
I got grizzlies be getting up in there. If there's moose, there's got to be grizzly. I would say so.
I have a shotgun attached to my back.
I don't know. Grizzlies are monsters, dude. They're a magnificent animal. If you ever get to see one, dead or alive, they are huge. Black bears get pretty big too. Everybody's like, "This black bear." Yeah, 325 mag. Yeah, that would be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would stop one. Might not kill one, but it would 9mm. That's cute. Rachel, that's great. That's great. So back to the ABA 125. So we've hit on all that about how it's going to be laying out. A little bit different, like we said earlier in the intro, a little bit different this year, being that there's 15 events.
Yep.
Normally there's only about 6?
About 8.
8? Okay, so normally there's 8. And
well, when
you want to explain Dane's reasoning why and Alex's reasoning why
on what?
Why there's that many extra events?
Give everybody an opportunity to fish 4 and get the championship, so you have a chance to go to nationals. I mean, it's kind of like the MLF, the BFL. You get the chance to go fish for like this year.
James.
This year we're fishing for there's going to be 2 Camises, one for the Angler of the Year and whoever wins the championship down there on Eufaula this year. They'll have 2. I think it's 19-foot Camises.
One's a C20, I think.
Okay, Angler of the Year is the C20, isn't it?
Yeah, CX20.
CX20, and the guy that wins, it's the CX18.
Speedboat.
Mm-hmm.
Speed. Earl Bent special.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, Earl Benz is the owner of Camus. He was originally the owner of Triton.
And then he had a no compete clause, and
yeah.
Then he made
Dang, go on StreamYard and just make your name known. If any of you Facebook users that want to comment or ask a question about any question to either one of these guys about the ABA 125 this season coming up, just go to www.streamyard/Facebook, and we will be able to know who you are when you comment on Facebook users. Dane, specifically.
We know it's you.
We know it's you, Dane. Dane's like a pot of gold when it comes to the ABA stuff. I know everything there is to know about the ABA 125.
But the ABA takes your 4 best tournaments. So if you only fish 4, that's the 4 tournaments for points you're going to have. So if you only fish 4 and say you finish in the top 5-3, and then you have one that's you're down in the 20s, it's going to hurt your points, so your standings to go to nationals. They take the top 500 anglers nationally to go to nationals. Now, if you fish 8, 9, 10, and you've got a couple seconds, a third, and a fourth, you're going to be sitting right up there at the top, and like the top 15, top 20 in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about if you want to finish good, higher up in the national standings, the more you fish. If you just want to go or just want to fish, just fish you 4 in your championship, you might have a chance to go.
We got 2 questions right here, one from Justin Speece and then one from Colby Adams. Justin Speece, we'll start with him. So what's the co-angler aspect? May jump in as a co-angler on the Lanier and Allatoona events.
The co-angler aspect is you just come pay your $75 entry fee, and if you've not been a member before, you're going to pay your $35 membership fee at the ramp that day. Then they're going to do a computer draw, and if we have 5 co-anglers and 50 boats, they're going to draw, and 5 boats out of the 50 are going to have a co-angler. They're just going to do a random computer draw. The computer does it for them, and then you go in the boat, and you compete against that angler, because when you come in and weigh in, you're competing against all 50 anglers. But in that same aspect, like I said before, you've got a lot of guys in this group that aren't going to backboat you. They're going to try their best to get you your 5 to help you in points. We also had a guy on Lanier this year catch a 6-pounder right out from underneath his angler in the back of the boat. So, yeah,
I was there.
Yeah. I think the angler caught the buck off the bed, and he let the co-angler behind him throw in there and see if she'd bite, and the 6-pounder eat it, and he put it in the boat.
Yeah.
So
Kim Burke got a question. So ABA is $35 yearly membership fee, and then $80 a person or boat. What about the co-angler? The entry fee for boater and co-angler is the same.
It's $75 for pre-register.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't pre-register, you have 10 days before the tournament to pre-register. If you don't pre-register, you pay a $5 late fee.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's $80 at the ramp, at the takeoff. It is $80. But if you pre-register online, it's $75 per tournament.
Scratch Fishing says AOI for just your 15 tournaments in the division. You wins a Camus, or is it points versus everyone else, points in their division?
AOI in your division, you get a trophy.
Your trophy.
You can hold and have bragging rights in your division. It's AOI of the entire ABA local tournaments.
All the national.
Everybody comes
that
together.
Tournament's called nationals.
Yeah, it's the top 500 anglers in the nation of the ABA.
Yes. And that's boaters and co-anglers.
Boaters and co-anglers. Your top 250 get to bring their boat.
Mm-hmm.
Your bottom 250 are co-anglers.
Yeah. Yep. So, guys, keep your questions coming. If you got any kind of questions whatsoever, feel free to ask them. And I know for some of you guys may be wanting to know who fishes these things, who you're going to see in the ABA 125. You're going to see Jonathan. You'll see Dane Hunter, some of you guys that you're familiar with. You'll see me. You'll see Michael Keeney here. You'll see Alex Pierce. He'll be there. Scott Laufman, he's a great guy. You get to meet him.
I think Brett Matthews.
Brett Matthews is going to fish this year. He's going to fish some.
I think Barday's, I think, is fishing with us still. If he's still up here, if he had moved to Florida.
That I don't know.
You got
Don't know if Chris White's going to fish. You got Nick Tooney,
Harold Grizzle,
Nick Treadwell going to be
Nick
fishing this
Treadwell,
year.
Nick Tooney.
Who else we got? Justin Timmy.
There's
There's a bunch of guys out here that are local that you've probably run into or heard of. What does it mean? Just do you have to do the Freedom Pass? Do you have to do the Freedom Pass? No, absolutely not. You do not have to do the Freedom Pass.
What is the Freedom Pass?
Justin.
That's an Alex Pierce question.
Yeah, that's an Alex Pierce question. I hadn't been in it long
I just
enough
know.
to that.
When I joined the ABA, they're like, you don't have to do Freedom Pass.
No. I'm not sure on that one.
I'm not sure. Do you know?
I see a bunch of the entry fee questions. It is $70 for the tournament, but your 5 that I'm including in the 75, you pay $5 for big fish
at the ramp.
So it's 75 no matter what you do. But if you're late, it's going to be 80.
You get put on the spot, buddy.
That's all right. I got it back.
Dylan, if I wanted and can I come do it even though I'm 16 years old, what is the age limit? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure a 16-year-old can come fish with us, but I'll
Dane,
where you at?
Dane, answer this question. Freedom passes for the open and solo one. See, Dane, we should have propped you up and strapped you down to a 2x4.
Mm-hmm.
Bless his heart, Dane. For those of you guys who don't know, Dane has 2 herniated discs in his lower back.
Yeah, there it is. 14
is the age limit.
So yes,
Dylan,
you can come fish with you. You can be a
come
boater
fish.
then too if you want to bring your tracker.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
So that's the Freedom Pass is for the open and the solo 150 series to skip the day before on-site registration.
Or is it
safety
18?
meeting.
Is it 18 to have a boat? There's a difference. I think it's 14 to
Boaters
boater
18.
to 18.
Yeah, boaters 18. So there you go. Dylan, I would probably suggest if you wanted to come do it, definitely jumping in the back of somebody's boat though.
Mm-hmm.
Group of good guys.
Every guy that's in the ABA would
Really
be more
can't
than
stress,
happy to put you in the boat with
really
us.
can't stress that enough because I mean I've fished several of these and it's just the camaraderie aspect of it all is like really like way up there.
I don't know how many times we've been sitting at the ramp 2-3 hours after the tournament's even over, and there's still 8-9 of us standing there
Mhm.
just cutting up.
Several times it's been 2 or 3 hours later. It was a lot of still just hanging out.
Yeah, and Dylan, I always say this. I know you got a boat, and I know you're all gung-ho. Jump in the back of the boat, dude. Jump in the back of the boat to learn. I'm not going to say much else about that.
This was my first year of fishing, and I've learned a lot and had a lot of really, really good guys that has come up and just talked to you. Hello.
we got microphones and everything.
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
Michael's 4 feet from the microphone, sitting there talking away. It's like, I don't think it's picking you up.
Justin, the tournaments start September 17th, be next weekend. The first one is on Altoona, and then they
At
end
Galt's Ferry.
in May
At Galt's.
at Galt's Ferry on
Galt's
Altoona.
On Altoona.
Get there early.
They
Exactly.
end,
What
they
Ken
end in
Burt
May.
says. This is what
Get
I want
there
to do.
early.
I want to get some knowledge. You want to get some knowledge, definitely. You get to fish with guys like me who don't know what the hell they're doing, and you get to see what not to do.
Still a learning experience.
Exactly. 100%. I've never won a tournament before in my life. So, it's really hard for me to.
I'm sure I'm glad it's not storming.
I call what I got warning track power. I call my fishing warning track power because I can always be like second or third. I just can't ever break that number one.
But you got to have a luck charm.
You don't have a necklace.
No, I don't have no necklace. I got my kids' socks.
Just the owner of a bait company. Yeah, no. Yeah. If you believe I've never won a tournament before, you need to really do some research into me. I own some True Grit jigs. Absolutely, they're the best on the market. No, there's a lot of people who build jigs, and I don't compare myself to those people who build those jigs, but nobody compares to me. That is the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Pretty much I wake up in the morning.
Pretty much I wake up in the morning and I Ricky Bobby it. Nah, I'm just playing. That post that I made, that picture I made last week, that was just all fun and games. I was just in a good mood that day, being funny. So
Yeah,
Jeremiah says, I've been talking about fishing tourneys, but I have no boat and not super interested in the co-angler scene.
Get a kayak.
Get a kayak then. If you don't want to learn how to fish tournaments, if you don't want to learn how to do it and you want to just go through it the way that you think you can do it, then by all means just go get in a kayak and do it your own self. Everybody likes to fish and stuff, but it's a whole different ball game when the lights turn on and when it's time to get and you got the pressure. It's a little bit different. It is a little bit different. That there's in everybody's boat, and this is the way I can say it. There is in everybody's boat, in the back of the boat, whether you have a co-angler or not, sitting down in between the seat, there's about 100-pound gorilla that starts out in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after the first hour and you ain't got nothing, that 100-pound gorilla stands up. After the second hour and you ain't done nothing,
He's on you.
that 100-pound gorilla standing up on the front deck, and he ain't 100 pounds no more. He's 200 pounds. After about the third hour, and it ain't doing so hot too, maybe you only got one or two fish, that 100-pound gorilla puts both of his hands on your shoulders like this. You look down and you see it's about 11 o'clock that day. That 100-pound gorilla's got you around the back of the neck like this right here. He's choking you. There's really no other way of describing it. The pressure is high.
You get in your own head, you might as well load her on the trailer and go home.
Yeah, pretty much. So, I don't know. It's I'm just messing with you, Jeremiah, though. But tournament fishing it's not for everybody. I know a lot of guys who are damn good fishermen who've never probably ever really even fished a tournament before.
Yeah,
and they're really, really good at fishing.
I know quite a few up in North Carolina on that the Hiawassee Lake and all that I've talked to.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, some absolute sticks catching giants.
Mm-hmm.
Never even thought about entering a tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, you would wax everybody in here.
Maybe. It's not guaranteed. It's not. Tournaments will make you make some decisions that you normally wouldn't make. That's a fact.
I agree with that.
It would make you it will sometimes make you fishing a tournament will make you make a decision. You are forced to make decisions.
I know
you were forced to make a decision based upon trying to find success, because you only have 8 hours, and I can promise you this: if you've never fished a tournament before, all three other gentlemen that's in here, Paul included behind the scenes, because he's fished many a tournament as well. 8 hours ain't really that long.
No.
It goes fast. It goes real fast. You think 8 hours, that's a normal work day. Yeah, exactly. Kurt,
we caught in about hour 9.
Yeah. There's a lot of good fish caught in hour 9 and hour 10 too.
Yeah.
Some people catch 20-pound bags at hour 10 and everyone's sitting at home already with the boat plugged in and sitting on a recliner. I had you, bro. No, you didn't. Weigh-in was at 3.
You never had.
You
never had.
That is a true story that involves yours truly. Had a guy, I'm not going to name his name, but he called me at 5 o'clock, said, "Hey, yes, I will get onto that real quick for sure about the Livewell ventilation system." I will say this though, real quick, because it's just funny. I will not name names, but we fished a tournament. Bronson and I had a team tournament, and we won. We got first place, and it was this year, and we won. And anyway,
Did you win?
yeah,
Say it again.
We won.
First play.
Listen, I'm trying to get to the point. I'm trying to get to the point here. So I'm at home. I'm basically at home almost, and my phone rings, and it's one of the guys that fished against me that morning. And he said, "Who won? What won?" And I said, "Well, we won." And oh yeah, hey, what'd y'all have? That's like 1601, I think is what it was. We had a 504 big fish. And oh, cool. Well, yeah, dude. I was just gonna let you know though, I had you today. And I said, "Did you?" He said, "Yeah, I just put number 5 in the boat." This was at 5:30. And I just put number 5 in the boat, man. I've got about 18 pounds. And I said, "Yeah." And I said, "Weighing was at 3." Well, I know, but I said, "Dude, it says your name on the list. It says your name. It says number of fish caught 0. No, weight 0. Points 0. Because you weren't there at the end of the tournament." But still, man, I had about 18 pounds. I said, "It don't matter. Tournament was from 7 to 3. You got to weigh fish in." "Well, I didn't have 18 pounds at 3. I said, "Then you didn't have me." So that's all we're going to say about that. It's just the way it is. So
You got a Vin Diesel impression
Huh.
for that? You never had me.
yeah, you never had me.
You never had me.
Never
Never
had
had
me.
your boy.
Family. Let's see here. So yeah, run a 4-hour tournament. Yeah, I like them. We used to have on Lanier a couple years ago. We used to have a Wednesday night 3-hour shotgun tournament.
Yeah, 4
That was like you fished your first couple of spots and you're like, shit.
Now what? Now what?
Like, we got to go.
And then 4-hour tournaments, you have 2 patterns in your head when you go. And if they don't work,
Then you spun out.
you're spun out
Dylan-
and go home.
Dylan said, "I thought you said you hadn't won any."
Oh, I forgot about
I forgot.
that
I
one.
haven't won a tournament. I forgot.
Forgot about that one.
No, I'm not going to name no names, but I will tell you this: it was not Harold Grizzle. Me and Harold Grizzle are buddies, and it was not him. So, are we fishing Saturday? Yes, we have East Hall Saturday, and I'm excited. It is supposed to rain.
It is.
Oh
Yeah,
my
well, it's worth
God,
like
I
6,
can't
7 inches this
wait.
weekend.
No.
I can't wait.
That's what that one
That's what the
said,
forecast
6, 7
was
inches
earlier.
this weekend.
Wait.
Lakes are coming up.
Is there a place I can see the bait keeper for the trailer? I prefer wire. The only ones that I make that have a wire in them are the football jigs. They have a wire keeper behind the collar on the bottom side of the hook, on the shank of the hook.
That's that low profile football.
That's that low profile football head. Yeah, 1 to 6. That was fun. The Buckies. I wish I was alive. I was alive. I wish I was like
in the game
when they had those Friday nighters out of Bayless Creek back in the day, run by HD Marine. They said they're drawing like 100 boats. Like Bayless Creek was slap full on Friday night, and they fished from like 7 to 3. So I don't know if I can fish 7 to 3 now. That's a long time.
Shoot, when I
At
fish
night.
the porcos and have to get up for work the next morning, I'm not happy.
Yeah, exactly. So
That's just 7 to 2.
what color jigs should we be
7 to 2:30.
throwing over the next couple of months? So yeah, we're actually planning on getting into that here. We were going to do this first little hour kind of talking about the ABA, but
Somebody's
if
jumping the gun.
anybody's got any more questions, well, feel free to ask the questions. Myself, Dane, who's in the comments, or Jonathan or Michael, we'll try to do everything we can to answer them in regards to the ABA 125.
I mean, we're open arms welcoming anybody to come fish with us. I mean,
I will reiterate that fact.
we want
What's up, Nathan?
we want everybody and anybody to come fish with us because it's just, I mean, it's a good time. I mean, I'm open armed welcoming Sal Pinto to come fish with us, even though I'll probably get my butt kicked from now on. But
Get your butt kicked by some Picasso lures.
yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to say you, and I was going to.
No, not by me. Some have asked why Nickajack.
I didn't see any of that. Why Nickajack? We have decided this
Make it
year
off lake
to make it a neutral site
because there is no tournaments by division in the ABA that fishes Nickajack
or Chickamauga, but there's another tournament going on Chickamauga that same week that we were going to do the championship. So
why not move it back?
Huh?
Why not move it back?
It's just executive decision.
Okay. Alex Pierce. I'm just kidding.
Nickajack was
what? Oh, I was reading what Ken said about
ABA too many butts.
Yeah, the answer is to give 11 playoff field. So now so what were you gonna say?
I was going to get to the level playing field. I mean, it gets all these. All right, when we go to Altoona, it's Barday, Nick Tooney, Chris White. We go to Lanier, it's Brett Matthews when he fishes with us, Gerald McKay. We go to Carter's, it's
Harold Grizzle.
Harold's
everywhere.
Yeah, Harold's everywhere.
Harold don't count.
Harold's consistent everywhere.
Man's won a lot of money out of the back of the boat. And if you ever fished against him in the front when he's in the front of his own boat, you're in trouble.
Ryan Bryant, those guys that do well on Carter's. If you go to Chatoog, you got the North boys that are going to fish. Like if Alex Prince fishes with us, or Dalton Tankersley, or Trevor and them fish with us this year, or any of them North Georgia boys. Then you got Notley. And Notley's got a bunch of sticks on it. So we're going to take it off site so it kind of levels everybody out. Everybody has an ample chance to win the 2-day.
Mm-hmm. Cool. So, yeah.
And it's really not that far at all.
No, it's an hour and 45 minutes up the road from Jasper.
And it's still pretty much a local lake.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chatoog's an hour and 45 minutes from the center of Jasper.
Yeah.
To the fairgrounds.
Yeah. So,
appreciate that, but no.
There you go. Just stick on Notley. That's you. All right. So, like I said, so we'll get, if there's any more questions that pop up, we'll answer them. So let's transition now to the fun part of the episode. Not that we already haven't been having fun, but let's talk some fishing.
I like it.
Let's lay the guns on the table. How many bullets you got in yours tonight? Is it loaded?
I got 100 round barrel clip in here, ready to go.
Okay. What about you?
Fully loaded.
Fully loaded. Okay. I'm shooting blanks. No. So first and foremost, we'll get into that. Jeremiah kind of already answered that. I kind of echo a little bit what Jeremiah says in terms of jig colors. Green pumpkin, orange, and browns and stuff like that, and blacks is really, really good. Can never overlook PB&J.
No.
By no means. Also, green and blue gets really prevalent again in some of these lakes up here, especially if you're fishing deep water. Simply just because green and blue.
Hell, green pumpkin blue comes shallow too.
Well, yeah, but
here in a little while
it will be. But that's kind of strictly for like up here in North Georgia. That blue and that green also comes back into play. I see what Jeremiah says. Jeremiah, I'll hit you up later, dude. We can get something figured out done. And but let's see here. What was that? Yeah, so Nickajack is top water frogging and swim jigs about this time of year. Yep, most times bear catch numbers and chick. That is true. Nickajack is loaded with fish.
You're not hurting my feelings at all, Kurt.
No, Nickajack has a lot of fish. I got to fish Nickajack one time, and it was something else. It was wild. Black and blue for the win. Black and blue is hard to beat always, especially here coming into the fall. Black and blue is just as you get into the fall and in the winter, it's such a versatile color because you can pretty much put whatever kind of chunk trailer on the back or grub or whatever you want to do. You can pretty much put whatever color you want.
You can mimic just about any kind of forage too with a black and blue jig that's a brim or some type of crawfish.
Working on the macro jigs. You have to remind me when you're leaving Joseph, and I'll get them to you. Don't worry. Greg Everett says, "What's your top 3 lures for the fall of the year?" Who wants to start?
You go for it.
Me. This tonight is Danny. This is my show.
Hell, I'll go.
Go, Farmer.
Go for it.
My top 3 is going to be some type of top water, some type of swim bait, and a crankbait.
You want to go or you want me to go?
I'll go. For me, some kind of top water, wacky rig, and probably a jig. Net.
Oh, wacky rig.
Look at me. Look at me. Wacky rig.
The hunter special.
The hunter special.
The hunter special.
So let's see here. So for me, it's going to be some kind of top water, probably a buzz bait more so than anything. A jerk bait, and yeah, catch piss out fishing, no jerk bait. And me and Michael talked about that earlier. Because he was like, I hate a jerk bait. I said, boy. We're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. Listen,
I just hate the way
he
my
looked at
arm
me.
feels the next day.
He looked at me dead in the eye and he said, I hate a jerk bait. And I was like, whoa.
Me and you ain't gonna get along.
Hold on a second. Hold on a minute. And my third, surprisingly enough, is going to shock y'all. Nope, absolutely not. Surprisingly enough, is a swim bait.
Not too shocking.
Those things, but and when it comes into the fall, I have a lot of different things laying on the deck.
Well, I started to say my front deck's loaded, but my follow-up bait is actually what I've seen a lot of people say is one of their top ones. I will go down a bank, just scream down a bank with a top water or something moving, and then I'll get to a piece of structure or
Don't swing early.
I will throw a jig in it. I always have a jig on the front deck, but I have a jig on the front deck year round.
So
Don't leave home without it.
Nope.
Dylan, you want to get some jigs, just get in contact with me, dude. I'll help you out. Don't worry. Dylan also said, what kind of crankbait?
Oh, in the fall, think small.
Oh, there you go. That works.
In the fall, think small. Are you down in Rapala?
I'm just mimicking Farmer.
Yes, a Rapala DT series in the 6 or the 8, the SR5, a Fritz side 5 or 7, the 1.5 and the Strike King. Anything small that mimics the small bait fish this time of year.
Good tip. Now, I'm having a hard time detecting jig bite. We'll get to Dylan's next question here.
Oh, I need
and Joseph. They both asked the same question.
I need to do this.
You need to do something
for the ABA.
All right. Well, Farmer's going to do something for the ABA.
Yeah.
You can go on to the ABA website, ABA Division 125 Facebook page, or www.americanbassanglers.com. They can message or call either Alex, Scott, Dane, or me, and we
wouldn't call Jonathan.
I can always look it up to ask any questions.
Dane who? Never heard of him.
Alex Pierce, Dane Hunter, Scott Letterman, and Jonathan Farmer. Is that better, Paul?
That's good.
I gotta mess with Farmer. He Farmer's like in that first Indiana Jones movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, when Indiana's got his little buddy behind him. Farmer's the guy who walks into all the traps. He's the one who triggers the rock slide. So
They're just sending him to get covered as tarantulas.
yeah,
Pretty
exactly.
much.
Just knock him off with a whip. We'll get to the jerk bait thing. I'm having a hard time detecting the bite when fishing jigs around rock and covers. Any tips? Number one tip. No, absolutely not.
Hook sets are free.
Fish don't got pockets.
Actually, yeah, fish don't have pockets.
He's taking it.
He's having a hard time detecting bites.
Oh.
He's not having a hard time getting hooks in the fish because he can't even detect the bite yet. Number one thing with jigs, do not skimp on your rod.
Well, I agree with that.
Rod is very, very important. You want to get as sensitive as a rod as you can possibly get. When you get out of this lane with rods and you get up to this level in rods, you'll be able to feel them fart on it. I mean, I'm serious. You'll be able to feel whether you're like, oh man, I'm in a rock. That's rocks. Or I'm in brush. Oh, I'm in some grass. You'll be able to know. Oh, I'm on sand, red clay.
You'll be able to feel.
You'll be
the
able
difference.
to know, and that's probably the number one tip for detecting the bite. Probably the second biggest thing too is watch your line. Watch your line.
Well, you got
Watch your line is big.
don't. I'm sorry. People fished it all the time. Jigs with mono. I mean, they did it for years, but you won't catch me without fluorocarbon now on a jig.
String.
You want some good string.
String. DuPont string.
You want some string.
So yeah, I don't know. We're going to be doing a jig. We need to be doing a jig episode here where we strictly talk about some jig fishing stuff.
We need to do
soon.
an on the water
We
tutorial.
need to do an on-water tutorial. Josh, Danny. That would be really nice. So what brand? I love jerk baits. What brand of jerk bait? Joseph Castleberry says. Y'all knock on me if you want to. All the mega bass people will be coming out of the sticks now. I dislike the mega bass. I own like 3 of them, and the only thing that like one of them has is some hook rash. I've caught probably 20 fish on a mega bass. I don't love the thing, but I like the Spromic stick.
That's a good one.
And I like Stacy 90s.
There he is.
And then the ultimate jerk bait, hands down, bar none, is the old evergreen kicker eater SP90 that they do not make anymore. And I only have this many left. So if anybody knows where any on eBay is, let me know. These are the ones that have full Japanese writing on them. There ain't a lick of English. The only English has evergreen and kicker eater. The rest of it is all Japanese. There's nothing else on there.
I'll go.
But that thing will get down about 15 feet. Whoops. Didn't mean to say that.
I like the mixed stick. I've got a couple
That's jerk bait.
mega bass, but I'll disagree with him on the best one ever made was the Lucky Craft Pointer 100 that they don't make anymore.
I won't argue with you.
Not my favorite, but I like the Berkeley Stunner.
The Stunner.
But the only one I got.
That's about the only one. Let's see, we're going into
Every time you crack one of them fish in the face with a Stunner, you crack open a Coors Light.
Stone cold.
Need to.
Stone cold.
Stone cold.
Yeah,
Break the glass.
exactly. All right, so scroll down comments, Paul. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see here. Michael Keeney looking all crazy. Lipless crankbait, any finesse crankbait as it gets colder. Don't leave out the medium diving baits, especially ones with flat sides and dull rattles. Another cold water cranky tip is knock the glass of a new bait with some steel wool. Yeah, that's making changes and stuff to it. Joseph Casper said, I have swapped to the Stunner. So yeah, the Stunner is a good bait. It really is a good bait. It's not my favorite though. Let's see here. So we got 2 more questions right here. Dylan Johnson, let's see here. Saying another question. If you get blown up on and the fish misses and you cast back and don't get hit, What do you throw back in there?
Swim bait.
Huh?
Swim bait.
Paul in the back says swim bait. What do you say, Farmer?
I'm going to either throw a fluke or a wacky rigged white or some type of shad colored Cinco and let it sink.
What do you do?
Same thing.
Okay.
Same thing.
Okay. I'll move on.
What do you do?
I move
Throw the
on.
horny toad.
I move on. Damn, that fish. Missed that fish. I move
I
on.
throw that horny toad in 80 foot of water and see if it'll come back and
I
get
do
it.
not. I do not throw it in 80 feet of water. That's a lie. That's a lie from the devil. Have you ever seen me throw that thing in 80 feet?
Hell
of
no,
water?
I hadn't seen it go out of 5 foot.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it stays. When do double blade baits start becoming a factor for y'all? Difference in presentation for largemouth response as far as blade baits. I said double blade baits. Blade baits. As far as spots, as far as jig fishing. So chatterbait type baits,
Mhm.
bladed jig type baits.
Bladed jigs.
I don't.
I think he means like blade bait, like a
Oh, he means like
Steel shad,
he
potato,
the
the Demiki Vault.
the Mickey Vault, the
Berkeley's got one.
yeah.
They were real popular last year. They were the thing.
They actually, I'm sorry, and people may disagree with me, but they don't just work in the cold winter. That's the big time for blade baits, but you can catch fish on them year round. When they're being finicky, I mean, they're not eating a swim bait, they're not eating a fluke, stuff like that. You can yo-yo that thing down there in 20 foot and get them to eat.
Which one do you like?
Silver Buddy.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Okay.
Old school.
old school there.
Still shad.
Okay. All right.
Just fight it.
Couple more things about rods there from Jeremiah and Kurt. Scratch fishing. What pound test do you throw your jigs on? Well, I'm
15 and above.
15 and above. I don't downsize. I know some people who throw 8, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Yeah, I know one individual who throws 8. On a spinning rod.
How many fish do they lose a day?
On a spinning rod. How many fish does he lose? How many jigs does he lose?
Well,
That's the big question.
Like a jig or
Yeah, like a jig.
Like not like
Yeah,
a
he throws-
micro mini finesse.
Yeah,
Not
he
a hula
throws
grub.
it on 15-pound test spinning rod or 15-pound braid spinning rod with 8-pound leader.
so a shaky head set up for a
Pretty
jig.
much, he throws it with the jig. Yeah. But I throw 15 and up fluorocarbon.
15 and up.
I don't. If you really want to get technical with it, I was like P-line tactical and everything else.
17-pound Abrazex.
You know. He's got money.
I like that new 101 15.
The basics.
The basics is really good. If you need to get some, you want to come try some, come to the store at Fish North
It is some
Georgia.
good stuff. I've got about 4 reels spooled up with that basics now. It's pretty good stuff.
Yeah. I just got a picture sent to me. So scrolling down there just a little further, I got Greg Everett. He has something. Lucky Craft jerk bait is my favorite. Rapwood number 11 for shallow. That's Dane showing his age. Jeremiah's Division 110. LJ's in the house. And FCP Fishing, aka Dana Smith, blade baits are cold water baits. Chatterbait is what Ken Burke's saying. Good luck with the brush or the blade bait. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
LJ said this is just a guess. You guys have been talking about fishing or tacos. Actually, we've only talked about fishing. We haven't talked about
tacos tonight.
They need the Lord's tacos. I don't know about that. Yeah, listen, leave me alone. Whoops. Kurt. He's out fishing with me. Kurt fished with me last week for a couple hours. He thought the motor was muddy, and it was just a strolling motor. Yeah, it's wide open.
Troll motor don't come off.
Me and Kurt, unfortunately, when we went out there, we threw the damn kitchen sink and the refrigerator at them, and we were fishing. We saw a lot of fish. We marked a lot of fish. We were around fish. They didn't want to eat nothing until about 10 o'clock. And it was like,
I think I remember because I called you or texted you and you're like, we ain't catching squat.
no. I need to get LJ and ditch fish. The Demiki rig is the only thing I haven't caught a bass on yet. He will absolutely put you on him, Jeremiah. LJ need to hit up Jeremiah. Y'all need to go show him what them hummingbirds is all about.
Does my line size affect how you skip a jig?
It doesn't affect me. It doesn't affect
No
me.
effect at all.
The biggest thing with skipping jigs and stuff like that, skipping any bait, is practice. Because you got to practice in order to get
A good reel helps. A good reel
helps a lot. Does rain change your game plan for the day? If so, how? In the fall and in the spring, it really will change some things to a certain degree, but it really depends upon water temperature and kind of at what stage of the fish are at the time. I'll typically in the fall, I'll look for runoff.
Mm-hmm.
Runoff is the biggest thing that I look for. Clean water. But the dirty water, that if we have a system that comes from the north in the fall and it's cool, which is naturally cooler water, which brings in cooler temperatures, I found that when any kind of runoff, there are bass that are like, if this is the bank where the water's running in, the water's coming down just like this right here. It's coming down just like so. The bass are like this.
I agree with that.
They're like their nose is in that stuff. Yeah.
In that also goes into your fall turnover when your lake flips and the main body bite and all that goes downhill. If you find creeks in the river where you got the fresh water coming in, where the turnover hadn't affected, the bite's a lot better. That's why your bait fish are back there. That's why your shad and everything are packed in these creeks. Mm-hmm. Because there's more oxygen in the water.
Right.
If you find a bait fish, you find the oxygen.
Yeah, that's the key.
Bass Reaper. Yeah, sorry, Harmon. Yeah, it's Bass Reaper.
Yeah, he's worshiping the devil, old devil tonight. He's looking for Satan himself.
Kiss.
I'm just playing with Farmer. In case you didn't know, me and Farmer, we like to nag each other.
We give each other a hard
time. You ought to see us in the boat together.
Oh, it's awful.
It's awful when we're in the boat together. One of us is a dumbass at multiple different times of the hour.
It sounds like a GoPro time, don't it?
It does.
Oh, it hadn't got put on GoPro yet.
Yeah, Farmer's giving out the juice tonight. He's trying to. But yeah, I'm always showing off chest hair. When you got it, dude. I got it. Jeremiah, he likes P-Line Tactical for jigs and FC Sniper for hard baits, though. So, yeah. Line nowadays is so, like, it's
come so far.
It's come so far from where it is to the point that it is now, to where it's really, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to probably get some backlash for it. You can't really go wrong with what kind of line you really choose because it's all so good now. Brian Marcuson said, "What's up, Michael?" Yeah, I'm still needing my Lanier Baits visor and my hoodie. Farmer. I mean, not Farmer. LJ. Still need my stuff.
I don't have.
I will wear a visor for LJ.
Hell, I'll wear a visor for LJ.
I will wear a visor for LJ. So.
Could you see my cast in a visor?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
100% I could. So let's get into let's kind of get into this thing right now. Now we're here right past the hour mark. Let's kind of. Well, you got something you want to say?
Yeah. If you got any hardcore guys on the 17th, the Porco's Midnight Madness will be the last one.
Oh man, that's a 17th. Long day. ABA 125 on the 17th in the morning.
And
sign-ups at 5 till 6:30. And then you turn right back around after tournament, go home, get you something to eat, turn right back around, come back to the ramp. Was it 7
to 2:30?
7 to 2 a.m. the next morning. See how big a boy you are. How big a boy are you?
Be sleeping. be tired. Look, there's Alexander Pierce. Evening, brothers. come be there, be 125. I got to see Alex yesterday. It was a grand old time. Was it yesterday? Was it yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I got to see Alex yesterday. It was fun. Always great to see any of the ABA guys. Yeah, Kurt Wehunt. We actually talked about this the other day. He said you ask fishermen, what was it that we got said? 500. What was it? You just asked 500 guys.
Ask 500 fishermen one question, you'll get 550 answers.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. There's no truer statement than that. That's the day after my birthday. Oh, Dylan's birthday's close to mine. Backlash. Did you really say that? Visor's on the way. Yeah, we need some. I'll take a hat preferably, but I'll wear a visor. I'll wear it upside down like that too. Watch me.
If I wear the visor and I backlash on a skip on my first dock I come up to, I'm throwing it in the water, LJ.
Oh Lord. Toughen up, Farmer. Michael and I did it twice this year, the club tournament and then Porco's. There you go, Farmer. Toughen up.
Yeah, well.
Don't be a little baby. No Tuesday.
That's right.
Oh, it's Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday.
Your days
That's right.
running
Sorry.
together.
My days are running together. I've been by myself. Danny and them are up in Montana. What did I call it? Montana.
Moon tuna.
Montana. Up there in Montana. Let's see. Dylan's got a red Lanier Bates hat. Man. Yeah, exactly.
Dang, Dylan's
$5.
Dylan's moving up in the world. Here I sit.
Yeah, I know. I don't even have one. I'm offended. I'm offended hardcore. So LJ's funny.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about moon tuna. Exactly. Moon tuna. So let's talk about right now here as we got about 40 minutes or so left. Let's get into a little bit more nitty gritty stuff. Locally right now, specifically, let's talk right now for you guys. Pretty much, y'all. I know before I say this, I'm not trying to offend Farmer, but basically, y'all's home lakes y'all's two home lakes is Altoona. See, I know he'd look at me like I was an idiot. He's just such a. Never mind. I can't say the word. If we were fishing, I'd say it. So Altoona, for example,
Take Carter's
the past month.
Carter's is my home lake over tuna.
Okay, well, whatever. Altoona, let's stay on subject here. Altoona, pretty much in the past month, because we don't give Altoona that much love, but let's talk about Altoona since both of y'all are here. The past month has been really incredible for Altoona. There's been lots of big fish weighed, and there's been lots of big stringers weighed.
There was a 10 a month ago, a couple 8s.
Mm-hmm.
It's been quite a few.
You caught a 6 this week.
I got a 632 this week.
So the big thing a year ago on this show was the argument about herring and alewife and Altoona. In my opinion, this is just my opinion. In my opinion, I think there are herring for sure.
There are.
And alewife for sure in Altoona, because you would not be seeing these fish doing what they're doing right now. That they've been doing on
You
Altoona.
are seeing Altoona transition into more of a Lanier fishing lake as far as the way the fish act. They're not acting like the Altoona of 2-3 years ago. They're starting to act more and more like the fish of Lanier.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's because of the bluebacks
Mm-hmm.
and the alewives. Now, I know alewives get brought up, and they're like, "Oh no, I hope there's no alewives getting Altoona." Well, here's the problem: why it's not going to be that as big of an issue as one would think. Here,
Thermocline.
that we are right now, is because of a thermocline. The alewife can't go as deep as they can on Carters. There's no thermocline on Carters, so they can't go down there and stay in 120 feet. They can only go down. Me and Michael talked about this earlier. Where did you say the thermocline roughly was right now?
From what I've seen, is around 15, 20 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's up really high.
It's setting up pretty high.
And that's why there's been so many. So that's why you've been hearing about all this topwater action that's been happening all day. When you cut the fish off to this, they only have this much of the water to be in. Well, they're going to react to their environment. You always hear me say that. Fish swim, they eat, and they spawn, and they react to their environment. And that's what they're doing right now. Is they are in the feeding and the swimming, and they're reacting to their environment stage right now.
The last time I was on that lake was about a week ago, testing my lower unit out because I'd done some maintenance on my boat. I don't have my boat back yet because I don't have my seats, but I did put
LJ, 7 pound is not a big stringer. And if you're catching a 7 pound stringer right now on Altoona, you're like about 20th.
Yeah.
There have been some consistently big bags across the board.
Anywhere
have been
from
weighed in
16, 17 pounds.
Yeah.
Is about topped out right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have one guy that'll catch your 20 and you're like, what pond do you go to?
Yeah.
But water temp right now that I saw on Altoona was about 86, 87 back in the back of Stamp Creek. And the thermocline had made it about 15, 20 foot, and you could see it just plain as day on your.
And see, that seems to be, and see, that's the one thing that's different compared to like Lanier, where the thermocline is typically kind of set up in about the 30 to 40 foot range, tip more towards the 40 foot range. Altoona is so much higher right now. Dane Hunter said 3 bags Tuesday night had 1 4-pounder each, 4+ pounder each. Yeah. I mean, that's no joke.
Mm-mm.
I mean, just Altoona just being the way that it is right now. And I know it's just some of the people that have been coming up here to the store and have been talking about Altoona. You know, I've already talked to 2 different guys who have told me this week that they said, done something that I've never done before this past weekend. Never ever before in my life this time of year have I went out and cut 5 fish in the boat. And if I was in a tournament, they would have weighed about 13, 14 pounds. I think, in my opinion, it's just the fact of what the herring situation is. Now, Michael made a comment to me earlier before the show, because he got here earlier and brought me some McDonald's, which was very good. I need some sponsorship from McDonald's. He brought me some McDonald's, and tell them what the little thing that you said about the bait population in Altoona right now, the percentage. Who'd you hear that from?
This is what I heard. It was on one of the core websites. Was there's more gizzard and herring than they are the other shad,
threadfin and spot tail minnows and stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's
considerably a bit more.
So that is in turn leading to this whole little. I mean, we'll just put it to you like it is. We'll just say it like it is. Can we just say it the way it is? This topwater explosion that has happened on Altoona.
It's due to the herring.
That's pretty much. We'll spill the beans. Y'all can hate on us if you want to. That's basically what has happened to Altoona this past month. It's just been this topwater explosion. You go out there, and that's pretty much all you're throwing right now.
Granted,
And
some of
you're throwing
a
some
lot of the
jigs and some
big
worms,
ones that have
but-
been coming off have been coming off a jig here lately.
right. But that's because it seems like those hybrid F1 strain that they've been stocking in Altoona are finally starting to grab a foothold.
Mm-hmm.
And them hybrid, them F1 strain, they typically don't venture much deeper than 20 feet. They like that Florida, Texas sticks out in them, and they like to live in that 10 and up.
Why do you think I like Notley so much?
That's why you think I like Notley so much. he's so full of it.
Alatoona, just on the Porco Midnight Madness tournaments, I've got the records from since day one of that, and I was looking at it, and there was a big cycle when he first started. That other weights are where they are now, and then it started going down, and then it went down to where 7, 8, 9 pounds. Now it's back up. The last one was 998 for 7th place. You had to have over 10 just to get.
Which in the last couple of years, it's unheard of on Altoona.
Yeah, that's
During the
incredible.
summer. Now during the winter and stuff like that, that's a different story. But summertime, 8, 9 pounds, and you were cutting a check.
Yeah.
So you hit on something real quick, and I'm going to let y'all talk about that while I run upstairs for just a second. The winter, the way things are going right now, they draw Alatoona down every winter. They're drawing Alatoona down right now. How far down is it right now? It's probably what?
Last time I saw it was about 3 foot.
Is it
Yeah.
more than that now, or is it late?
Monday was probably 2.5, 3 feet. Monday
Okay.
With all this rain, it's come back up a little bit.
Okay.
probably have.
So, with that being said, they always draw Alatoona down for a winter pool. What do you think? And do you think that basically on this bait explosion with the fish size explosion that's happening on Alatoona, you want to kind of give any like foreshadowing as to what either of y'all think might happen this winter and this fall on Alatoona compared to how it traditionally fishes, or no?
I give it away.
You want to give
Sure.
it? You want to give it a whirl?
You're going to see the Lanier ditch bite show up.
Correct. I agree with that.
I mean, but then the Lanier ditch bite shows up on Carters too in the winter. A lot of people don't fish the ditches in Carters. They'll fish the bluff walls. They'll leave those ditch fish alone, which I'm fine with. But any lake around here that's got a herring style or thread fin, don't you worry about me, Ryan. But
Hurry up.
thread fin,
I'm good.
your alewives, herring, gizzards, and everything like that, they're going to go to the warmest water they can. And during the wintertime, that's in that deeper 30, 20 foot range. And you can throw your small swim baits, your finesse shaky heads, your floating fly. A floating fly is huge on Carters in the wintertime.
It's not shabby on Altoona either.
No, it's caught some absolute monsters on Carters I know of. Blue Ridge, you go up to Blue Ridge and you're fishing in 20 foot, catching smallmouth with perch on a 2.8 Kitech. In the wintertime, it doesn't matter. Fish use the ditches and these creek runoffs as highways to move up and down to feed. So
It's coming to tuna.
it's coming to tuna.
It's happening.
That just goes back, to what I was saying earlier. If you look at the past records, it's everything is coming.
Mm-hmm.
She's on the coming.
It's completely fishing different than it did 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you used to be able to go to Altoona and hit a north facing bank in the wintertime that's going to get just pounded by the sun all day. You go over there with a jerk bait and do a jerk pause and let it sit there and just get destroyed. Well, now you're seeing these fish in 20, 30, 40 feet buried in a ditch, and you ain't getting that jerk bait to them. So
What a mess.
nothing exciting.
Nothing exciting. What do you mean?
So would you say just in ditches, or would you say in like a
Any
run?
Anywhere those fish can move deep to shallow in a hurry. If they can move 5 feet and get in 5 foot of water and feed, and then move right back down into 40, that's where they're going to hang out on a creek channel swing. So I'm not saying just sit your boat in the middle of a ditch and fire straight up the gut. Fan cast. If you don't have live scope and active target like I don't,
Good man.
Yeah.
you still have to fan cast and find them. Well, if I find out, like I got my tail kicked last year on Lanier because I was fishing straight down the gut. That's where I'd found the fish at. And they were all in the 2 to 3 pound range. Well, then a buddy of mine sit there and turned around. Instead of throwing right down the middle of the gut, he was fishing the breaks where the point would come off and drop into the creek channel. He was catching 4 and 5s. It's just, you got to figure out where those fish are hanging out in the wintertime. In the wintertime, your 2 pounders will hang out with 2 pounders. Your 3 pounders will hang out with 3 pounders.
That is a big evident key right there, for sure. If you find
Your 5 pounders will hang out with 5 pounders.
If you find 2 pounders, I about promise you that you're gonna keep fishing. You're gonna be like, I'm gonna find me one in there about 4 pounds. Nah, you probably not.
About 20 fish later,
Odds
I caught all the 2 pounders I want.
Our odds are against you in that format. This thing is, wow, it's broken. No wonder it don't work. But LJ, I love the ditch bite. We normally get on some huge schools of fish, and that has been prevalent on Alatoona. Because y'all been talking about telling me in the winter, y'all would find some places where y'all could catch
me and Dane
30 to 40 fish off one spot.
Between 2 spots, I think me and Dane caught 80 fish that day.
Mm-hmm.
Just one right after the other. 2 years ago, I went to Carter's, and I never moved for 8 hours in the tournament. I never moved the boat. It just sit in one creek the entire time making the same cast, and I caught 70 fish with another partner with me, and we caught every fish we caught was 3 pounds or bigger.
Barday is alive, by the way. Got you over all along yet?
Are you still in Florida, Barday? I hadn't
Probably.
seen nothing out of you up here in a while.
He might be. I don't know. There's no telling. Michael, did you give your opinion while I was gone?
I didn't talk long enough. I talked too long. I didn't give him a chance.
Oh, okay. Well, did you not give your opinion?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. You just
Little
gonna keep
bit,
it
but
to
I got it.
yourself. You gonna keep it to yourself?
Just so y'all know, True Grit makes a ditch digger for that bite right there. That is,
About that time.
it's about that time.
About that time of year again, as Luke Bryan would say.
That's what we're talking about earlier too. Wasn't it?
Yeah, we're talking about that ditch digger. Some of us have to work, Barday said.
I don't want to hear it.
Lord, he's knocking the EMC boy over here.
Don't want to hear it.
He's knocking the EMC boy.
We've had enough storms this last month to do me for a while.
Barday, we love you. We miss you. I miss your beautiful, bald, shiny head. I wish you'd come see me. I miss talking to you. So, Alatoona wise, though, I think Alatoona is going to be. Alatoona's kind of always been treated as like the
Dead Sea.
Well, as the Dead Sea. I wasn't going to say Dead Sea. I was going to say the little brother compared to all the other North Georgia lakes because of the
That's fair.
That's fair. That's what Paul said. That's fair. It kind of gets treated as a little brother. listen, there's no denying the fact on Altoona. It is healthy and it is alive. And there are millions and millions of fish in there.
Oh yeah.
That is no doubt. You go back and you watch the live one-on-one that we did, me and Danny versus Farmer and Dane, where we kicked their teeth in on Altoona.
I ain't saying nothing.
He don't say nothing. Where we kicked their teeth in.
Kick my teeth in.
If you go back and watch that, though, there was that little hour and a half spell where me and Danny sat on the exact same spot, and they just kept coming up, and there were so many fish there.
Mm-hmm.
And we were just catching them on top water and getting bites, and it was fun. And if you I definitely say this: if you've never fished Altoona, if you want to just go have a ball, Altoona is probably one of those places to go have a ball.
Mm-hmm.
If you just want to go catch the piss out of fish, Altoona's right up there.
Now
to catch a bunch of fish.
You get a little bit later into the year when they start feeding on that run of shad that have just fry that you can actually, this is what I do, and I'm probably going to give away a lot of what I like to do when this time of year, but I will actually either take a front runner and a clear topwater that's got a feather hook on the back of it that mimics that tiny little bait fish. If you're getting a lot of blow-ups around you and you can't get them to come up and you see what size they're eating, that fry from this year's hatch, try and tie on a clear topwater.
So let me ask you this. So what if that don't happen on Altoona this year?
If that don't happen on Altoona this year, I'm going to be happy.
Why?
Why? Because then I can throw my normal stuff, the Seville, my gunfish,
so
chug bug.
So with the herring being prevalent coming in Altoona and alewives and stuff, that's probably going to be the case. You're not going to have to throw your clear baits.
Probably not.
And stuff like that, which will make it fun. It will make it fun. Barday is right. A lot of people don't remember that before the bluebacks arrived, 10 pounds won a lot of tournaments on Lanier. Absolutely. He is 100% correct. But the bluebacks change everything. The bluebacks change everything. They're just a bunch of little mini protein shakes running around.
I'm not so sure about Carter's because it's got alewives in it. But
you see a lot of big fish come out of Carter's.
Yeah. I'll be 99% sure if I say this, I'm going to be correct. Almost every North Georgia lake now has bluebacks in it. I know Blue Ridge does, Chattooga does, Notley, Altoona, Lanier. I'm not sure about Burton.
Burton has them.
Burton's got bluebacks. So Raven's got bluebacks. Hiawassee up North Carolina's got bluebacks. So about every lake you go to in this area now, you're going to be fishing some type of blueback.
They report that Oconee has bluebacks in it too.
Not surprised.
Wouldn't surprise me.
So,
but
that would be interesting if somehow they get into, as much as they daily back pump and pump back in. That will be interesting to see what might potentially happen on Sinclair as well. I remember 7 Fish Limits weighing 12, cutting checks on Lanier in the early 90s. The biggest thing, not just the bluebacks, but the biggest thing that helped Lanier was changing the size limit from 12 to 14. That probably helped it a lot. I mean, I'm not saying the bluebacks didn't. The bluebacks definitely did. But changing the spot size and the largemouth size from 12 inches to 14 inches really kind of started to vault things for Lanier because those fish start growing up. So they are naturally a 14-inch fish in a healthy lake that has bluebacks in it. Naturally, a 14-inch fish is going to weigh more than a 12-inch fish.
Well, I'll go ahead and say this. If you catch a 14-inch fish out of Lanier,
yeah,
it's bigger than the 14-inch fish you catch out of Altoona or Carter's. right now.
But I think you're going to see a change in that. I think you're going to see a change in that coming up before too long.
Mhm.
You're going to.
It's already starting to see.
Yeah. You're starting to see that football
Ball
shape
Mm-hmm.
of the spots to show up
Mhm.
on Altoona.
And the only way those spots take on that football shape is they eat herring, and they gorge themselves and see. That's like what I always say about Lanier right now. Lanier is like this, Danny always I'll say this. Danny always says we talk about Lanier a lot, but here's the thing about Lanier. Lanier is kind of the crown jewel right now. It's probably the most dynamic fishery in North Georgia right now.
Lanier right now, your guys that know what they're doing and everything, it's taken 20 pounds to win on Lanier. If you go anywhere else, it's 13, 14 pounds.
What is the ditch digger?
Oh, it's a lead head and it's experience of
I've got
its
one
own.
in my desk over there.
It is a football head without a weed guard.
I got one in the right hand side of my
And
desk.
you use it as a swim bait head, and you drag that thing on the bottom, and that football head will kick against them rocks, and it's deadly.
Paul's bringing a ditch digger.
Give it to me because I need some more. I'm going to take it with me.
Oh no, that's
Hold
my,
up,
that's
hold
my
up the
sand.
product.
Oh, look at here now. Come on.
Ooh,
This was the thing last week.
it still is.
Can you see it?
Go
My
up there.
hand too
Go
wide.
up there close
It
to
works
it.
better get the black.
Where's the camera?
What are you doing?
Whoa.
Well, I didn't even in focus.
I know. What's wrong with you, Paul? Come on.
Shovels.
Oh,
But
That's what Corey said. Shovels. The ditch digger is basically a half ounce football head with a 4/0 super sharp VMC hook in it that you basically put anything from a 3.3 to a 3.8 Kitech on it, and
catches them.
and you just throw it out there, and the creeks and stuff like that, and on some points or whatnot, channel swings, you throw it out there. You can throw it very, very far. Typically, I like to personally fish it on 12-pound fluorocarbon. That's what I like to fish it with. It helps me get the bait down, and it gives it a little bit better action. But this thing, basically, the way that it is, the football, basically is down there. As it's going down, let me get it on my red shirt here. It's basically wobbling as you're slow rolling it back like this. And you just basically crank your handle about like this. That's all you do. And you just put a Kitech on the back of it, and they're cheap. They're no offense to the fish heads. Sometimes they don't want that blade. And there's so many fish heads that get thrown in the fall and in the winter right now that they eat that thing more times than not. But you buy one of these from us at True Grit, you get 4 in a pack for $4.99. And we had guys last year.
Oh, he couldn't keep them.
I couldn't keep them. I had guys buying 5-6 packs at a time.
You can special order some too.
Yeah, we've been
with weed guards in them.
I've been throwing this thing. So when I came over here to do True Grit, I've been throwing this thing for several years now. I've been making them like this for several years because I didn't want to always throw fish heads and stuff like that and underspins because you get hung up, they're gone. Especially in anywhere from 20 to 40 feet of water where this thing really does really, really good. But it does really, really good real shallow too in the very backs, especially where they're schooling on bait. But that thing, I've been throwing that thing and making those things for about 6-7 years now.
I'm going to give away a little bit of juice. I know there's a bunch of guys on here that fish the ABA are going to be mad at me about this, but I can't help it. I got to help somebody out. We have a lot of people that struggle with this type of fishing in the wintertime. In the ditch bite, They're like, I'm fishing, I'm slow rolling it. I can't get a bite, can't get a bite, can't get a bite. Alter your cadence of your reel. You're sitting there and you're dragging bottom and you feel that thing bouncing around. You're not getting a bite. Snap that rod tip, make that thing jump off the bottom, reel your slack up and let it go back down to the bottom, hit bottom, and keep your reel going up. They'll usually hit it as it goes back to the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
They'll pick it up and it'll just get heavy and they'll swim off with it.
Yeah. Dane Hunter, who's watching, yes, Chance Smith, you just put a swim bait, Rage Swimmer, Kitech.
What's LJ's?
Mega bad.
Oh,
the
Bass.
Spark Shad.
Look at Farmer. Look at Dane.
Told you.
I took Dane.
He ain't mad.
I took Dane this past winter, and if you can ask Dane, but
He just faking.
I helped Dane get 100 times better ditch fishing in one day, showing him how, and we threw that all day. So I'll be making some ditch diggers here pretty quick, and they'll be available. You'll be able to buy them online as they're still online.
Mm-hmm. You got to make the order now.
I got to make the order currently because I don't have any stocked up, but I'm going to start pouring a bunch of them here soon. One day, if I can get Farmer to come over here and help me, we'll probably pour about a couple hundred. The hook is left exposed.
Yeah,
100% is left. It is left exposed. The bait itself, when you keep tension on the bait actually is down there, and it actually kind of pulls up, and is actually kind of pulled up some. It actually kind of pulls up a little bit here. So if this is the bottom, it actually is about like this.
It'll stand up.
So it's like that. But you just throw that thing out there and you reel it along the bottom. And
I mean, you hear LJ talk about how he fishes his little finesse swim bait. I mean, it's either crawl it on the bottom or cut the tail off of it and vertical it on his his little head, or the Mickey head, I think he calls it. Huh?
Like a VMC.
Yeah, it's like the VMC moon eye jig. But crawling these things on the bottom or just keeping them off the bottom about a foot during the wintertime, you can't go wrong.
Hey, have y'all noticed a difference with like a loop knot or any other kind of knots on this?
I haven't experimented with different knots.
I tie one knot. And
have you done some different stuff with it?
I tried a loop knot last year, and on several times it helped a little bit.
With this work in a red clay stained pond, depends upon
how stained,
and it depends upon what's in that pond. If there's any
most ponds that are stained in red clay, their bottom is just covered up with that bottom grass.
Yeah, and
you ain't gonna be able to throw that through it.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's a good question, Chance. I guess you'd have to just see kind of what
try it and see.
I guess. Ain't gonna hurt nothing to try. You never know.
I mean, if you really wanted to push the envelope, I mean, you got your swing heads that everybody likes to throw these, like the biffle bug and all that on. Instead of just a swing head, have a solid head. Swim a creature bait on the bottom with it.
Paul, do you want to come around and answer Jeremiah's question real quick? What is a good float and fly rod to buy?
No, because I have no idea.
He said no because he has no idea.
I actually only use just a regular old Temple Fork 7.6.
Yeah,
that's got big eyes that you can. I usually use about 20 foot a leader, 6 pound leader, and use a bobber stopper, and then reel it up in there and throw it, and kind of go with that. I don't even use a float and fly rod for it.
Yeah, how deep in the?
They use like a
like a 10 foot rod, but you can't You can't use a rod over 8 foot in a bass tournament.
I thought they changed that recently.
You
The ABA still 8 foot or less.
8 foot or less, you're not allowed to use a rod over 8 foot.
Scratch fish. So how deep in the ditch are you throwing that thing? All the way from probably like 3-4 feet all the way out to about 40.
I agree with that.
Yeah, just
Unless you're
depends
on
upon wherever the
Unless
fish
you're on
are.
Carter's, then you're in 90.
Where they at though?
Just wherever they're at, wherever they at.
When you're looking for a ditch bite, if you pull into a ditch and say we'll go to somebody that doesn't have side skin, you just got 2D, and you're going into a pocket and you see bait balls. I'm not looking for these giant room-sized bait balls. I want sparse bait.
Yes, 100%.
But you have to have bait. If you don't see bait in that ditch, leave it. Go away.
Yeah.
Their fish are not there. The fish will be in there with those giant bait balls, but you're competing against the real thing. So it's going to be even harder to catch fish that are there. You want the sparse bait, the small bait balls about the size of this chair or the size of this table, something like that. That's where you're going to find most of your ditch fish that you can catch consistently. Is that sparse bait, but you have to have bait for the ditch bite. Hey Harold, how you feeling,
Harold.
buddy?
There's Harold. I want to send well wishes to Harold. He was involved in an accident about 2 weeks ago?
About 2-3 weeks ago.
And he got hit pretty hard in the rear end. So we just want to wish Harold hopefully a speedy recovery. He gets feeling better.
Yeah,
The plan, I will tell you this, guys, the plan for this fall and winter is we're going to go out. We're going to do a pretty extensive video on the ditch digger, ditch fishing, some jig fishing, jerkbait fishing, stuff like that. Give you guys as much information and Hartwell sucks right now. It really does. We're going to try to give you guys though as much information as we can to help improve your game. And
ditch game.
at the end of the day, at Fish North Georgia, we want you to have success.
Want everybody to
on the
become a
water.
better angler.
Yeah, exactly. We want everybody to become a better
Well-rounded.
angler. Yeah. And part of wintertime fishing up here is it's probably some of the funnest time of the year to fish. Because you'll find the right place and you'll just be like, oh my God, this is great. But
I think the lakes come alive in the wintertime.
they do.
Your big ones show up a lot more in the wintertime.
They do. Yeah, I like, everyone says spawn is the best time to catch probably like your biggest fish, but the wintertime can be.
Give me January, February, and March.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy. That's when the big ones for me show up. That's when you start seeing them 8, 9s, the 10s that are full of eggs ready to go, getting ready for pre-spawn show up. And they show up consistently.
Kurt says he's well-rounded. Kurt, the other day, I think you were borderline confused. Kurt make like 3 casts. Me and Kurt are buddies, so he won't care if I say this. Kurt make like 3 casts with one color worm. Nah, it ain't working. I turn around and look. He'd be back there in the back of my boat with all his shit spread out across the back deck.
I like that color.
I like that color. I like that color. Let me try this one. He had worms in his pockets and stuff. It was hilarious, dude. But hey,
Man wanted to catch fish.
he broke the ice that day. He was the first one to put 2 in the boat. He put the first 2 fish in the boat last week. So I'm not knocking him. It was just funny though. But it's always fun to go out with Kurt. We'll do it again sometime soon. But yeah, it's just the winter time leading up to the pre-spawn is just it's just there's something magical about it, I guess, because you just never know what you're going to find. You never know what you're going to catch. Andrew Talbert said ditch digger works great with a Zoom Fat Albert. Interesting. I have not done that.
I have not either.
That is very interesting. I might have to give that a shot.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, thanks, Andrew. We appreciate that. Appreciate that little tip there. Might have to give it a shot. So I've got another thing coming out for this winter. Danny hasn't ordered my hooks yet, but I have another bait coming out. And
Piqued my interest.
it's gonna be for you live scopers.
No.
It's definitely gonna be for you live scopers. But you don't have to have live scope to fish it. But it's number one problem with Kitech. Kitech swim great. There's hardly nothing else that beats them. But what's the problem with Kitech?
Too darn soft.
They're too soft. How many fish they last?
One.
Sometimes two, but very rarely they
If
last
you're
two. If you're lucky.
10, 12.
Woo! Paul said 10 or 12. I think that's a
think-
rage. I think that's a rage swimmer.
I think he's got his baits fixed up.
What are you using,
me
super
and-
glue?
Me and Loctite gel super glue.
Oh my God! Okay.
He,
So Paul pulls out the Loctite gel super glue and
glues his
he gets that
cutback.
thing all on there. Yeah, 100%.
He closes that split from the hook back up.
Yeah,
Throws
he
her back
does.
out there.
You put a little dot right on the keeper. You get some mileage out of that kite.
Well, I've got a ball head coming out with a littler hook in it, and it's going to be for your 2.8s and your 3.3 Kitechs, and it's got a screw lock that goes around the shank of the hook. So you're going
What
to
are you talking about?
So you're going to put the Kitech on, and you're going to run it up there, and as you run it up there to it, you're going to screw it on all the way up to the head, and it holds the Kitech on
The screw lock's gonna be on the shank.
tremendously. The screw lock is going to be on the shank of the hook.
They work.
That works.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pain.
That should work
God, come on, Paul.
Either Paul's fish are small or he's drunk. That's what Dane said. So
It's the fish.
it's the fish.
That's what it is.
That's what
Hey,
Paul
no,
said.
hey.
The
If
nine
you,
is still
if you
young.
catch a big one and it's down in its throat, that Kitech's fine.
Right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's Dane. They got a couple people that's had them that have tried them out. So I'm gonna release them here soon, and I think you guys will like them. I really think you guys will like them. You'll be able to slow roll them things on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
But the main purpose behind them is for looking at your live scope and throwing at fish. It should kick the guppy head in the tail. It really should. From Dirty Jigs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Huh?
I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
it should kick that thing in the tail.
What's guppy head?
What guppy is?
Oh, what guppy head? Oh, my bad. I guess we're not supposed to talk about the guppy head from Dirty Jigs. So,
What guppy head?
I don't know. I'm on a legal high and I can't drive. That's what Dane said. Dane, you can't drive because you can't walk. So, poor Dane. We're hoping.
Love you, Dane.
We're hoping.
We need you to hurry up and get you back fixed.
This next week he's having the surgery again.
The 16th, the day before the tournament, he goes back and they're going to shoot him up again, and hopefully that's the last time they have to do it.
We're hoping.
Well, we'll see you later, Jeremiah. Good luck on the tarpon tomorrow. But we're hoping that Dane, we all want to wish Dane a speedy recovery. Hopefully the surgery this time goes well. Last time it did not.
No, the ABA is not the same without
The
Dane.
ABA is not the same without Dane Hunter down there barking orders. Get your trailer out of the way.
Get the hell out of the ramp.
Dane's police officer comes out.
Chief.
Chief.
Is that what it is? Is that what y'all call him, Chief?
Oh, he can get his head big.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. Blowed his head up like we blowed his black out. Yeah, thanks y'all. Yeah, so his head's big already. Yeah, Boss Dane. Yes, sir. So,
I wouldn't mess with him. He'd roll just about anybody at the ramp.
Better watch him. Better watch Dane for sure. Him and an old wacky rig. He might hook you in the lip. You never know. But next week, don't know what the plan is. This episode, this particular episode, I know was kind of laid back and it wasn't really structured. Yeah, we're gonna start wrapping it up here. I know there wasn't a whole lot of structure to this. Just kind of just kick back, sit around, just kind of shoot the bull and talk and whatnot. Again, we want to remind everybody that if you have any interest whatsoever in fishing the ABA 125, you can hit up either Dane Hunter, Alex Pierce, Jonathan Farmer, Scott Loftman. They'll get you hooked up. They'll guide you. They'll answer any questions that you have. It's really fun. It's really, really fun. Really enjoy fishing it. Again, like I said, I echo it again one more time. It's like a broken record, but do all three of us fish the ABA? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, we do. But it's a really good camaraderie thing, and the competitiveness is
The ABA 125 is more of a brotherhood than it is a tournament trail.
yes, 100%. So
Exactly right.
yeah,
Exactly right.
at the end of the day, most all the anglers in the ABA that fish the ABA 125 are all about one thing, and that's just getting better.
Wanting to get better. I mean, it's you come up and ask any of us what we were doing that day. I don't know that many of us that wouldn't tell you exactly what we were doing.
Yeah.
Or show you.
Or show you. Yeah. I mean, how many times last year did you see if like, well, we'll take Dane, for example. If Dane was catching them, none of us could catch them. We were sitting there, how can we get 5? He'd come over and he'd show you exactly how he was catching them.
Exactly how he's throwing that wacky rig.
Exactly how he was throwing that wacky rig.
Yeah. Yes, Brian, the ABA has co-anglers.
Yes.
It does have co-anglers. If you want to ask any more questions about that, though, like I said, get on the ABA website.
ABA 125 Facebook page.
Yeah.
You can contact Dane Hunter, Alex Pierce, Scott Letterman, and Jonathan Farmer.
Who's Jonathan Farmer?
Me!
There
Yeah.
you go.
There you go.
But for any information on what it entails, how many tournaments, when we do them, what the rules and everything are, regulations are, you just contact us and we'll give you any info you need to know.
Awesome. So, guys, we appreciate it as always. We appreciate your viewership. We appreciate your support of us at Fish North Georgia. At the end of the day, we just hope that in some form or fashion that we can help you along your journey to maybe catch a few more fish than you probably would have before. And come share your stories with us. We love seeing you guys. Just a quick one thing. Like I said, Danny and Josh are gone. They will not be back until Monday. The past several Saturdays we have been open, and we were trying to stay open on Saturdays. However, I'm here alone this week. I have a club tournament Saturday. The store will be closed, unfortunately, this Saturday. I'll try to Paul help me remind me to make a post.
We got a thing for that now.
We got a thing for that now? Awesome. We got a thing for that now. So, appreciate you guys coming. The past several Saturdays, we've had a lot of you guys show up and come get some stuff and hang out and talk, and we really enjoy it. So, but with that being said, we appreciate it. Appreciate your viewership as always. Appreciate your support, and stay tuned. Look forward to seeing what we got coming in store for next Thursday night on the Livewell. And so keep your eyes glued to the group page and the Fish North Georgia Facebook page. And we will see you guys next week. Have a fun, fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rain. Fishing's going to get better, I promise.